possible.
All right, but first up this morning, it's fun to oogle at all the home design shows on TV, wishing you could do that to your home, but knowing you can't afford it.
No, we're not always the stars. Well, our next guest grew up in a small apartment with very little and learned at an early age how to make things look good on a budget. So joining us now is Angelo, and he's worked on many celebrity homes, has done over 400 makeovers on television for TLC, HGTV, and he says he can give new life to your space for under $100.
Yep.
Is that true, Angelo?
That's totally true.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, I grew up with nothing, literally nothing. You know, we immigrated to this country in Chicago, as a matter of fact, from Greece, and my dad was a short order cook and my mom was a waitress. These weren't people with a lot of money. So I learned really quickly how to take a space and make it look amazing with almost nothing.
Okay, what are some tips for that? Because there's a lot of us, you know, who want our home to look like a celebrity's home, but we certainly don't have the money to do it.
Okay, the first big thing that you can do is move your existing furniture. Because if you move what you have, and I know you have it up against the wall somewhere, and it's been there for 20 years, I know it has. Move it away, because what happens is you see your room in a brand new light, and you see your furniture in a brand new light. So when you go shopping, now you have a really distinct idea of what you need and what you don't need, as opposed to over shopping. The second thing is use color. Color will take any room and any piece of furniture that you already have and make it look fresh and amazing. And for 20 bucks or 30 bucks for a gallon of paint, and all your painting is, even if you do one wall, it'll change the whole look and feel of the room.
Well, and did you say wallpaper's making a comeback too?
Huge. And here's the thing about wallpaper. You don't have to be afraid that you have to only put it on your wall. You can cut it up into segments or use remnant wallpaper and frame it and use it as art. You can do things like the back of a bookcase, like a really inexpensive bookcase. If you wallpaper the back of it and then put your stuff in front of it, all of a sudden it changes the life of that bookcase.
I've seen that before. I've seen that, and as well as on what are those, like armoires where people put you know, their liquor on top or things like that in the glass areas. And it looks, because there's many textured wallpapers that look very elaborate and expensive.
And that's the key. You can buy something that maybe is really expensive or even fabric and buy just a little bit of it. And doing something like putting it in the back of a bookcase or back of an armoire, or finding ways to use it in your space that becomes a focal point. So if you have an accent wall that has a fireplace, that's where the color in the wallpaper maybe should go.
Okay.
If you had to describe your collection, what would that be? I looked at your stuff online. I would say contemporary. I liked it a lot.
Thank you so much.
How would you describe it?
I would say part of it is contemporary, but I feel like I love traditional furniture. I really do. But I want to give it a fresh feel. So it's really eclectic. It's got great contemporary lines, but then it's got this really great spool leg on certain things, or a castered leg. Because I think that we live these multi-textural lives. We're not one-dimensional as people, and our homes aren't one-dimensional. They're layered. So I love it when you walk into someone's home and you see all these great styles working together.
It's great. And you know, you're not just here for fun, to teach us how to do some, you know, celebrity style, cheap, on a budget decorating. You're here because people can meet you in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm here with American Furniture because we're putting it in the Angelo Home Galleries, which I love. And American is such a great partner because they understand the importance of home and it should be affordable. And I'm going to be there tomorrow. I just installed the gallery in Waukesha between 11 and noon, and people can come with their photos of their space and I can give them advice on what to do, or just come and say hi.
That's really cool.
Wow, you can actually bring a photo and you'll take a look at it and decide what needs to be changed.
I love when people do that, when they actually, you know, one of my favorite things is when because I live in airports, is when people come up to me with their smartphones, like, okay, so here's my room. What do I do?
And people say
ready to find you.
I love that. I love it because I really want to make design universal. I want people to know that there's no fear in redesigning your home. I want to take the guesswork out and I want to make it approachable and fun.
What's a don't, when, especially like in a living room or even a bedroom? Because I've seen bedrooms with the color red, which I would think is a big don't, because it seems like it would be awake or ignite hunger. You know? I mean, like, it's the last thing you want when you're going to bed.
I need is to ignite my hunger.
I don't need evil in bed anymore. I need to stop.
With you. Okay, so I don't think there's a don't. If you love it, it's not a don't. But here's what I always tell people. You can go ahead and spend all the money in the world and buy the most beautiful, beautiful things. And if you skimp on lighting, all of a sudden things fall flat. So that, to me, is where you really make a great investment. Make sure that you've balanced lighting in a room. What I mean by that, if you've got a nook of your room lit really, really well, make sure that the opposite side is lit just as well. And here's a great inexpensive tip. Put all your lights on dimmers, and you don't have to call an electrician to do that, especially your table lamps. You can do a plug-in dimmer from the hardware store, and dimmers make a huge impact in a room.
Lighting. What a great tip. real quick, you've been on a lot of TV shows on TLC, HGTV. Is that what it's called? I don't watch it very often.
That's right.
Anyway,
That's
do you have any behind-the-scenes stories that you can share?
Oh my gosh, we don't have enough time. But I will tell you this, I was on a show on TLC called Clean Sweep, which was a precursor to Hoarders.
Oh gosh,
And
which
you
I love.
walk into
love
this,
Hoarders.
yeah, right. And I remember going on that show and thinking, we're going to run out of rooms in America because people can't possibly be this messy. I was wrong. I was on there for 8 seasons. So, anyways, one of the things that we found was we literally found a dead animal. It's not even funny. I don't know why I'm laughing.
It's awful.
We took all the stuff out of there, and at one point, halfway through, we had to have hazmats. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And not only did we find a dead animal, there was another house where we found, I think, over $6,000 in uncashed checks.
No.
Oh,
Yes,
my
yes.
gosh.
People had like checks just hidden under rubble. I'm like, people, how do you not know you have $6,000 here?
Right.
Yeah, crazy.
They got
It's
more than that
inside
in
a
the bank.
wrapper of
Right,
some sort.
under a rat.
Under
Yeah.
the ground. Yeah, a rat.
It was all under the dead animal.
Exactly.
Oh, it
Oh.
was awful.
Oh my gosh. Is there any celebrity home that you just, if anybody could go see, you'd be like, this is the home you need to see?
I will tell you this, that people always ask me what's the difference between designing a celebrity home
Yeah.
and a home that's not a celebrity. And I say there is no difference. They all want the same exact thing. They want a comfortable home. And the homes that I love, I think Courtney Cox does a really great job. She used to actually buy and flip homes back in the day before she kind of became really, really famous. And I think she has a really great aesthetic because she understands how to design a home for the home. So what I mean by that is you look at the architecture of a space and you let that lead you and your design choices as opposed to taking maybe a colonial home and trying to turn it into something Spanish.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, we've all walked into a house that doesn't feel right.
Right.
And I think it's because we're trying to fight the architecture.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Good tip. I love that. Okay, well, you can meet Angelo and see Angelo home as well. The gallery unveiling is going on Saturday. It's from noon to 1 at Waukesha. It's on Westwood Drive. So head on out, check out the new gallery. It's the unveiling. You've got to see it. All Angelo home stuff is fantastic at American.
Thank you. So
nice
great to
have
meet you
here.
guys.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you, too.
The weather is gorgeous, by the way. I'm
Yeah,
from the
this
Midwest.
weekend.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Where
it's
are you
nice.
from?
Illinois. I grew up in Illinois. I went to school in Chicago. Yeah.
Oh,
There you
well,
go.
welcome
Yeah.
home.
Thank you. Good to be
see
here.
you.